Hey, what is going on everybody? Today I will be ranking every new location in Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 4. So with the new season dropping, we now have a good idea of what every new location has been added, as well as the mythics and medallions. So today I'll be going over every new location and what items are at each one. And I'll be ranking these locations based off of their design, what medallions they include, and what mythics they include from worst to best. So if you guys are hyped for this new season, make sure to drop a like on the video. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already for more videos like this. And without further ado, let's get right into this ranking. So we have a total of 4 new locations this season. So starting at the number 4 spot, I have Doom's Courtyard. So Doom's Courtyard is pretty much a smaller location right next to Doom's Castle. And pretty much like the name of the location, it is a courtyard. There's a little house there along with a statue of Doom's head on every side of the statue, and it also has some nice trees around it as well, and the design of it overall is pretty clean and nice. Now while I think this is a nice and good location to land at, I do have to put it at the number 4 spot because it's a little bit smaller than the other new locations, and also there's no boss at Doom's Courtyard, and I feel like they just should have put some sort of boss there. I feel like that's really the missing part of this location, but still it's a nice little location you can land at. Especially if the whole lobby is going to Doom's Castle, you can quickly rotate to this smaller location right next to it, and overall it's a pretty fun location right there. But at the number 3 spot, this is where this list already gets a little bit tricky, but I do have Doomstat at this spot. Now Doomstat is this nice little town that honestly has some really good details in each house. The color schemes also pretty much resemble Doom pretty nicely. There's even like this bronze Doom statue at the center of the town, which I think looks pretty cool. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this overall design. However, compared to the next 2 locations on this list, I definitely think this is one of the weaker ones. And I almost forgot to mention the boss. The boss at this location is Mysterio. And if you eliminate Mysterio, he drops the Mythic Sovereign Shotgun, which is the brand new shotgun for this season, which I think is pretty good. And he also drops the Stealth Medallion. Now the Stealth Medallion gives you temporary invisibility when you crouch, which will definitely give you a huge advantage over your opponents. This will allow you to sneak up on them and likely get some easy kills. However, I think this medallion is probably the worst out of the 3 new medallions we have this season. It's pretty much just because the other 2 medallions are just better than this one. It's not necessarily a bad medallion, but overall this location is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. But yeah, let's move on to the number 2 spot, which is the Raft. Now I was tempted to put the Raft at the number 1 spot. It was really close between this and the number 1 spot, but the Raft is this really cool Marvel prison essentially. It definitely gives me the Authority vibes from Chapter 2, so I am pretty happy with this location. The Raft is this giant prison with tons of cells throughout the entire thing, and I'm assuming Doom and Mysterio will end up here by the end of the season. But yeah, this location is really good. One of the best we've gotten throughout all of Chapter 5 in my opinion. The details inside for each cell are just so incredible. Fortnite really outdid themselves with this location. In terms of detailed locations, this is probably my favorite of the season. But of course, we can't forget about the boss, the mythics, and medallion. But pretty much Emma Frost is the boss at this location, and if you eliminate her, she drops the mythic Striker Burst. And the new Striker Burst, let me tell you guys, I've used this a few rounds now, and it is very good. It's one of the best bursts we've gotten in a long time, and the mythic one is going to be an insane weapon to have. And Emma Frost also drops the reveal medallion, which will occasionally reveal the locations of your enemies. Now this medallion will be really good towards the end game, and no one will be able to hide from you. And while both the mythic and the medallion are pretty great, they weren't good enough to get this location at the number 1 spot, and the number 1 spot is Doom's Castle, which you've probably guessed by now. Now Doom's Castle is just such a fun and awesome location in my opinion. Castle Doom is super detailed. Every building just has some really cool designs resembling the character Doom. There's some really cool designs of him throughout the castle. There's also like this factory looking thing towards the back of the castle, which I'm not completely sure what that is, but it looks really cool from what I've seen. And of course, Dr. Doom himself is at this location, and if you can eliminate him, he drops the mythic trigger Monarch pistol, I believe that's what it's called, and that's a pretty solid pistol, easily going to be the best pistol you can get in Fortnite. And of course he drops the Siphon Medallion, which is ultimately what made me put this location at the #1 spot. If you can get the Siphon Medallion, this gives you such a big advantage over your opponents, because Siphon can really just change the outcome of your match, and having Siphon while other opponents don't is going to give you a huge advantage. And not only that, but Doom also drops his Mythic Gauntlet. So there's actually 2 Mythics at this location, which I think is really cool, really makes it worth landing here, despite the fact that half the lobby is already going to be landing here. It's definitely going to be worth it if you can outlast everyone. And yeah, overall, Doom's Castle is my #1 pick for the best location this new season. But anyways guys, that is going to do it for this video. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the new locations added for this season, and definitely make sure to let me know what you guys think is the best location for this new season in the comment section down below. But if you happen to enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.